Hey, welcome everybody to the Quiz Marketing Podcast. I am Mike Hawkins, one of the co-founders of Riddle, riddle.com, and we're one of the original quiz marketing platforms out there that people use to get quizzes and leads and all that good stuff. But this podcast isn't about Riddle. It's much more about how to use quizzes effectively for marketing. And in that, and for that, I'd like to introduce our guest today. We have Lydia English. Lydia, I'm going to introduce you in a sec, or I'm going to throw this over to you, but Lydia works for a really cool company called Trance, and they do a lot of really cool training and mentoring and a whole bunch of other stuff that I am far too unqualified to talk about. So Lydia, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem at all.
Can you tell us a little bit about Trance, and also maybe what drew you to, what marketing problem you had that you turned to quizzes to solve?
Yeah, so Trance, we're a learning and development consultancy. So we do training in-house, obviously not at the minute. And we also have an online learning hub, so people can also learn online. We decided to do, join Riddle because we're very interested in kind of the statistical side of things, and we focus a lot on the human psychology side of things, and that underpins everything that we do in our training. And so we thought, why not try and do personality tests and then post them on social media and see kind of what traction we get from them. And it's been really successful, actually. We've got quite a lot of leads from it.
Oh, fantastic. So you were using quizzes more of a top of funnel mechanism.
Yeah.
Okay. And has there been any type of content that has worked particularly well for you?
Yeah, so definitely all the personality quizzes we've done. So we've done one on emotional intelligence, and we've done one on locus of control, so kind of where you attribute your responsibilities for the actions that you undertake. But the most successful one that we found, and that's been the most popular, is one we've done on the introversion extroversion theory.
Right. Okay, so it's interesting because many times I think for many of our listeners, personality tests and quizzes in general sometimes have kind of a light-hearted, people go, oh, it's just light and fluffy, like which Harry Potter character are you, and things like that. Yeah, but it sounds like you guys are really kind of using it for much more of a serious, almost psychological reason. Yeah,
definitely. And I think quizzes really engage people because people want to know something about themselves.
Right.
So, if you post it as, find out what kind of personality type you are, people are immediately interested and they want to. And I think the key is, so even though we're doing it on something that's quite psychological and, deep, we've kept it very simple, very light. So I think the introversion extroversion test is maybe only about 15 questions.
Okay.
So it's short and sweet. Yeah. And then they get a blurb at the end explaining their personality.
Okay. And I guess so actually that brought up another point, which one of the reasons we really liked your quiz is that you keep it short and sweet. We've seen some people who they get really excited and they'll write like a 50-question quiz. Especially these days, especially for leads. People don't have the attention span to really devote to that. So yeah, 15 questions seems like it's working really well for you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think, like you said, people do switch off after a while. So I think, especially if you're posting it on social media, like Facebook and Twitter, people are on there to complete psychological tests. They're there to, socialize, have a bit of fun, share something about themselves. So I think keeping it short and sweet is the key, really.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, absolutely. And because most of the time, I think most websites have traffic on smartphones around 50 to 60%. So that's people in the queue for, at the grocery store, waiting for the bus, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you guys use quizzes so you've captured their interest? People have taken the quiz. How do you translate that into a successful, to lead, to start that conversation with your company?
So what I've done, so going back to the introversion extroversion one, so for that, I had a quick look this morning, and we've actually had a total of 796 people have completed it,
Mm-hmm.
and we've had almost 360 leads.
Nice.
And so from there, I analyse. So I, split the data up, have a look, and kind of analyse, what's the most common personality type, and then, divide it into male and females and age groups.
Mm-hmm.
And then we post the results from it then, and then that generates more interest of the people who haven't done it, or like, oh, I want to see what I am.
Okay.
From that.
Fantastic. No, and actually that conversion rate. So you mentioned about 335 completions or leads out of 780 something ish.
Yeah.
I need coffee. It's still a bit early over here for me, but that's an amazing completion rate. That's about 40%, and that's pretty actually indicative of well-structured quizzes in our experience. It's kind of weird because on the internet, most people, you'll see things like they do like 2% conversion rates, like to sign up for newsletters, and those are the kind of annoying pop-ups you'll see.
Yeah.
But quizzes like you've run for the introvert extrovert, that's really cool, 40%.
Yeah.
I guess because we're going to keep this short and sweet because this is the same concept as a quiz. What advice would you give to people in your space or other businesses who are looking to use quizzes as a marketing channel? Maybe what would be like maybe 2 or 3 things that you would suggest?
Well, I mean, definitely do your research. If you're going to do a kind of quiz on, like where do we learn personality types, make sure you do a bit of research first. There's always that one person that will criticize you, especially on
absolutely.
Keyboard warriors. So do your research, make sure it's legitimate and everything, and accurate, but do keep it short, keep it sweet, and try and make it fun. Also as well, because people love taking part in personality tests because they're finding something out about themselves. So, if you're going to do a blurb at the end with what personality types they are, keep it positive, and don't make it, awful and negative. Because, people won't be very impressed at the end. And encourage them to share it with their friends and everything. And do also, like, people really like it when we provide feedback. So recently we've I think it was just at the end of last week, we've utilised the introversion extroversion quiz and combined it with another quiz with how people are currently coping in lockdown.
Okay. And
from what I've seen from people that have shared it, a lot of people have commented saying, oh, would love to see the statistics of this and the feedback of this. So I think that's important as well.
Nice.
Provide a little bit of analysis after everyone's completed it as well.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. Yeah, so this is really cool points. So this is actually, again, one of those things we love so much about quizzes, and you're hitting all the highlights. So you have that engagement piece, which works. You have the lead capture piece, but then you're continuing the conversation with, hey, based on what our community's told us, this is what, oh, and by the way, here's another piece of content. So it just kind of keeps people engaged with your brand, which is really cool. You also mentioned something which is something we stress is we call it the 50-50 rule. And when you get to the results, and you mentioned it, they need to be positive. They need to be insightful. People need to want to share. And what we find is people will do a great quiz, and they get to the end, and they're like, I'm kind of tired. And they just go, hey, you're an introvert. But no one's going to share that. So you need to say, hey, why are you an introvert? What does that mean? What's the positive? And maybe what's some things you can work on. So that's pretty good. Okay, and we're going to wrap things up because this is, again, short, punchy, and quick, just like a quiz.
Right.
This is a little bit off quiz based, but we just like to hear what people, especially in the lockdown situation, what is your biggest pet peeve and why? It can be quiz related. It could be life related. It could be anything.
Oof. Do you mean like me personally?
Absolutely. So I will tell you, for me, speakerphone conversations in restaurants drive me absolutely up the wall. Yeah.
Well, I think what actually it's kind of along those lines when people are on their phones when they're out having a meal with their family, and also even worse when people start playing videos when you're having a conversation. Yes. That's probably one of my worst ones.
Nice.
People videos of, you know, when you're trying to watch the telly and the person next to you is playing a video on their phone. And
Yeah. Yeah, come on, man. You have headphones. You have headphones. No, we're birds of a feather. And to wrap things up, I'm guessing you've taken your extrovert, introvert.
Yes.
I'm going to speculate. I'm going to say you are on the extrovert scale a bit.
Really?
Yeah. Am I right?
No.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So we've kind of adapted the introvert extrovert kind of theory, and we've added in whether somebody's confident or anxious, because we found that there's often a misconception that introverts can be really shy and extroverts are really confident and knowing. But actually, it's all about where you get your energy from. So introverts, they can socialize with people, but they enjoy spending time on their own, and that's where they recharge their batteries.
Right.
Whereas extroverts, they recharge their batteries when they're with their friends, when they're socializing with people. That's where they get their energy from. So I'm actually an introvert. So I do like socializing with people. I probably have like quite a close group of friends that I socialize with, you know, quite a small social circle. But if I'm socializing too much, it does tire me out. So I do like to go away, spend a bit of time on my own, you know, just watch a bit of telly and recharge the batteries. So yeah, I'm actually introverted. And then if you're going to tie that in with our theory, I'm actually a confident introvert. So, you know, I'm kind of happy about doing video calls, Zoom calls and stuff like that. But I do like to be on my own at times.
Perfect. No, that confident. Yeah. So actually, I've taken similar tests, and I fall in the same category because after an hour or two, I'm like, I'm done. I want to go read a book. So, anyway, well, Lydia, thank you so very, very much for volunteering to take part in our quiz marketing podcast.
That's all right.
I hope your week's off to a great start, and I hope you stay relatively sane during this whole lockdown situation.
Yeah, you too.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.